It was 1991, Lodi, California, the suburbs. My sweet bowl cut was in full effect and my LA gears were hot out of the box, heels aglow. Across the street, a construction crew hammered and nailed their way through our neighbor's house. On this particular morning, my dad had tasked me with helping him clean out the hall closet. My parents used this double-door holding cell for musty jackets, clothes that no longer fit, and boxes of paperwork that would be filed someday. You know, junk. Clearly, this was a one-man job, and by mid-afternoon I had managed to sneak away to my room for a couple hours before my dad noticed. "Zach," he shouted, "come here, quick!" I was 6, so I ran down the hall the way that kids do, and found him staring into a giant box with a wide grin. He set the box on the floor before me. "Do you know what this is?" "No." "It's a record player, and these," his eyes glazed over, "these are my old records." That was all I needed to hear. Despite my tender age, I considered myself a music aficionado. I plucked at the stacks of records and began my investigation. The Eagles, the Rolling Stones, Big Brother and the Holding Company, Hendrix, dozens more. It didn't mean much to me at the time, but looking back, my pops had a pretty bitchin' collection. He stopped me when I held up Let It Be. "Do you know who the Beatles are?" Shit, yeah, I knew who the Beatles were. They covered that Raffi song, Octopus's Garden. "I think so," I said. The notion that someone lived in a world unaware the Beatles existed was a glitch that he had to correct immediately. He picked up the player and swiped the record out of my hands. Only when he made it to the end of the hall did he turn around. "Well, come on." He got to work in the front room. I studied him as he connected the record player to the speakers. He took a step back, examining his work, then darted off down the hall, returning with the biggest headphones I'd ever seen. "These'll be better," he said, snapping them over my ears. And then the needle dropped. There was a moment when I thought to protest, somewhere between the analog hiss and Lennon shouting, "I dig a Pygmy." It was a perfectly gloomy Sunday after all. Ideal weather to watch a movie or play Ninja Turtles, anything but listen to a dusty old record. But then 2 of us started and I was a goner. I sat there, looking out the window at the construction workers across the street, my legs crossed, my ears engulfed by massive black headphones. I watched them do the same things that they had done day after day. I was seeing nothing new, but I sat still through the entire record, just listening. When the album finished, I ran down the hall, the way that kids do, and asked my dad if he had any more Beatles records. It was pretty much all Beatles for me from that afternoon until I was about 13. At 27, I still get the goosebumps at the opening chords of 2 of Us. I still get choked up during Across the Universe, every time. And there I am again, staring out the window with my father's headphones on.